So I'm Clarice Váz from Saligão, and I'm born in Africa, in Uganda. And at the age of 6, came back to Goa because of Africanization there. And did my schooling here, then became a nurse. Over time, got married, had my 2 sons, and when they went outside to study, I went back to my childhood hobby of painting. My paintings were well received by my family and friends. I just did it as a hobby. But then in 2011, I lost my son tragically to an unknown, undiagnosed heart condition, and that is when I decided to do something in his memory. That's when I started art in a professional way. I started with fluid paintings, and I was just fascinated the way the colors moved, drawn to colors. It was so natural. And then I went on to do spin painting. So I took a fan and I put it upside down in concrete, and I actually clamped I saw it all on YouTube, and I started doing, and they were just selling. And it was like so interesting. But then these were all what people were doing. And I used to give injections in the village. So I used to bring home the syringes. So then I thought one day, why don't I do syringe painting? I saw Jackson Pollock line drawings. So I just mastered the art of doing the syringe painting, especially on our lovely Goan landscapes, So I didn't want to see anything realistic. I just wanted to see it more into abstraction. So just doing it with line forms helped. Eventually, I went into doing kundi saris, that I can see there, because this method or this technique suited, the threads, the breathing fabric of the kundi sari. And I had such a big long story to tell of our indigenous tribes. Well, let me be very frank. There are some people who call me an outsider artist, a naive artist, which is true. And I take it as a compliment, because if I get such recognition as being an outsider artist or a naive artist, that's good for me. I don't worry about other people's opinions. I just do my work for myself, and you can see them all stacked there. I'm doing it in memory of my son, and every painting is signed. There's Clarice Váz. In Goa, there was all this in-migration, out-migration. In-migration of new settlers and out-migration of the Goans. You see a lot of houses closed. So this made a big difference. So I started to capture landscapes before our landscapes change. You see all concrete buildings today. So I started creating a lot of art with the themes on Goa. For example, the cross and the sluice gate, which you've seen down, I think. There's a lot of preparation that goes before doing this. You got to mix paint with a little bit of gel to get a correct consistency, because it has to come out through the needle. So over 1,000 block needles. In fact, my fingers are all kind of sore. 1,000 block needles. You're doing this over and over. And it's important not to get blobs. You've got to get the lines. And so I use paste sometimes. Now this is paste that I have already put. So I mix it, and then I fix it into the syringe, and then it is quite tough to push it out. And then so I have a canvas, and I do a basic scene, and then say I'm doing a tree. I've got different techniques. So right now it's tough because this is, so you can see it coming out. So this is one technique. And when you do it with just gel, it is very fast. But I'm doing with a 3D technique, so it's just filling up. You keep on filling up. And then there's another technique that, like, if I reach here, I would just be doing a scrape. See, how do I fill it up? There's a stippling effect that happens. It comes so naturally, and then I just take it to the lines and I do it. So preparation takes a long time. Then I overlap it. Once this dries up, I will take another color and interlace it. Oh yes, so you will get that in another painting, which I will show you a completed work. And this is a form of meditation. I put on some little music, very calm music, and you can see my dog there, and that's how I do. So then I capture light with dark using a lighter color, and so you see all those. So this will be green, this layer is brown, and this layer will be light blue. These are the hills, the Ghats. So this is how I capture. And it takes, there's so much of work. Now this painting could take me 6 weeks, and I like to be alone, but it's so beautiful at the end. Hopefully I'll be able to show you this. I mean, the criteria of being a successful artist is not how many artworks have you sold. It is the fact that you have talent, and knowing that you have the talent. That is so important. Knowing that, thankfully I know that. Thankfully I know when to stop doing a painting. I will not interfere with it. You know, once I sign the name, Clarice Váz. Once I sign the name, I never touch a painting. And then I varnish it. So this is how I do. It's all self-taught. This is a fluid painting. So how did I do this? I just pour paint with a syringe. I keep it upside down. I put it on that round thing, and I just pour paint, and then I clean it up. There you are. See, this is the liquid. I make my own fluid paints. So I use color. So you got to, I mash the color here on this plate. I use a little color, gel, and then I use a strainer. I use a strainer and strain it into bottles. So here we have another one here, just done, because I'm doing the green painting. Look at the consistency. It cannot be watery. It has to be like, you know, thickish.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you got to use the right colors. This is paste. This I'm making for the tree. Look at the paste. It's
for that one?
For the back one, for the trees of the back. And that is the reason this has got just a life of 6 hours. It gets hard. The cross and the sluice gate is, this is the Kazan lands that I tried to portray here. So we have the Western Ghats, and then the river, the main river. And this river is built by the indigenous tribes with their bare hands. They build the buns. The buns are all here, as well as here. So they would use fishing nets, and during high tide get the water in, and they would catch all this little small kinds of fish, prawns and all. And in the low tide, the water would go back again. So they knew when to open and close the gates. And so they lived off the land. So here I can show you that they grew paddy, and it was just brackish waters. So they had to use a certain kind of paddy or rice